where we are just hours away from former President Donald Trump's third criminal arraignment in just 4 months. Tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, he's expected to appear in person at a federal court in Washington, D.C., where he'll enter a plea to charges that he conspired to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Tonight, law enforcement is preparing, setting up barricades outside the courthouse. Of course, on Tuesday, a grand jury indicted Trump on 4 separate felony counts, including conspiracy to defraud the United States of America. Today, Trump's lawyer gave another preview of what could be a possible defense, that the indictment strikes at the former president's right to free speech.
This is the first time that the First Amendment has been criminalized.
This indictment is criminalizing conduct, not speech.
No, it's criminalizing speech for this reason. What the president saw in the 2020 election was all these irregularities going on. He had every right to comment on that and act politically. In a criminal case, what they would have to show is all of that speech was not entitled to First Amendment protection.
Of course, reminder, it's not about what Donald Trump said. As Jack Smith laid out in the indictment, it is what he did. Trump's lawyer also objected to the possibility of a trial during the 2024 election cycle and suggested the Justice Department was moving too quickly.
The Biden Justice Department has had 3 years to investigate this. To take President Trump to trial in 90 days, of course, is absurd. The question is, why do they want to do that? If you want to seek justice, then you need to offer President Trump an opportunity to get a hold of all the evidence and understand what the facts are.
Meanwhile, the New York Times notes how former Vice President Mike Pence has gone from Trump's right-hand man to potential star witness and now political rival. This afternoon, Pence responded to questions about Trump and the indictment.
Anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. And anyone who asks someone else to put themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States again. What the president maintained that day, and frankly has said over and over again over the last 2.5 years, is completely false. And it's contrary to what our Constitution and the laws of this country provide. Sadly, the president was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear.
Not long after that, the former president posted these outright lies about Mike Pence, writing the following, quote, "He didn't fight against election fraud, which we will now be easily able to prove. The VP had power that Mike didn't understand." This, of course, comes after the indictment made it clear Pence did not have that power. And for fact's sake, the Electoral Count Act does not give the vice president the ability to change the outcome of an election. We've said it before, we'll say it again. Former President Trump's willful ignorance proves nothing.